Yeah. Thank all day, baby. Thank all day. He's working. He's working. My money goes away.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog. And, he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm going to show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together.
Did a single confrontation just change the landscape of boxing? A press conference meant to hype up an upcoming fight took a shocking turn when Gervonta Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, and boxer Lamont Roach Jr. erupted into an all-out brawl. What started as a war of words quickly spiraled into something no one expected. And now the entire boxing world is watching closely.
My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They're going to celebrate with me. Yeah,
don't bring them.
It's going to be a part.
This isn't just another heated exchange between two fighters trying to sell a match. This was personal. It happened at Howard University's Brawl Gymnasium, where Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. were set to promote their upcoming fights. But instead of talking strategy and expectations, tensions boiled over. A single remark lit the fuse, leading to a chaotic scene that had fans, promoters, and even security on high alert. What exactly was said that set things off? And more importantly, what does this mean for Davis, Roach, and the future of boxing? Today, we break it all down, every detail, every reaction, and what's coming next. Because trust me, this isn't over yet. But before we get into the full story, let's take a step back. Who are the key players in this drama? To understand the depth of this clash, we need to know the history of Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling you, you saying you going down in a 9?
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is a name that sends chills down the spines of his opponents. Undefeated and known for his explosive power, he has built a reputation as one of the most dangerous fighters in the lightweight division. With a record of 30 wins, no losses, and 28 knockouts, Davis is not just a fighter, he's a knockout machine. But his success didn't happen overnight. Davis was trained under the guidance of Calvin Ford, a man who has been by his side since the early days. Ford isn't just any trainer. He's a mentor, a father figure, and the mastermind behind Davis's rise to the top. The bond between them goes beyond boxing, making Ford one of the most influential figures in Davis's career. Their journey together turned Davis from a promising talent into a world champion, and now into one of the biggest stars in the sport. On the other side of this clash is Lamont Roach Jr., a fighter who has been making waves in the boxing world with his technical skills and relentless determination. While he may not have the same level of fame as Davis, he's a rising star with a strong record of 25 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Roach is known for his sharp counterpunching and ability to adapt in the ring, making him a serious threat to anyone standing in front of him. But what makes Roach stand out isn't just his skills, it's his hunger. Coming from a family deeply rooted in boxing, he has always carried a chip on his shoulder, determined to prove that he belongs among the best. Over the past few years, he has been climbing the ranks, picking up key wins, and showing the world that he's not here to be overlooked. With two fighters built on different paths, but equally intense ambitions, it was only a matter of time before tensions exploded. But what exactly led to the brawl? What words were exchanged that took things from verbal jabs to physical chaos? The real story starts with the press conference that no one saw coming. The atmosphere was already thick with tension before the press conference even started. It wasn't just another media event. It felt like a powder keg waiting to explode. Fans, reporters, and boxing insiders gathered at Howard University's Brawl Gymnasium, expecting the usual trash talk and fight hype. But something was different this time. There was an edge in the air, an unspoken energy that hinted at something bigger brewing beneath the surface. Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. have never been the best of friends, but their rivalry had mostly stayed professional. That changed in the days leading up to the event. Both fighters had taken shots at each other online, stirring up tension before they even stepped onto the stage. Davis, never one to hold back, made it clear that he didn't respect Roach as a challenger. On the other hand, Roach felt that Davis was being protected by his team and the boxing establishment, and he wanted to prove he was the better fighter. Adding to the drama, there was a long-standing history between Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, and Roach's father and trainer, Lamont Roach Sr. The two had known each other for years, and while they once had mutual respect, their fighters' rising tension had started to spill over into their relationship. What was once friendly competition had turned into real animosity. As the press conference was about to begin, both sides were fired up. Davis walked in with his usual swagger, completely confident, while Roach entered with a focused, no-nonsense attitude. Their teams were right behind them, staring each other down, knowing this wasn't just about selling a fight. This was personal. Then, as the cameras started rolling and the questions began, everything escalated. The war of words quickly turned into something much more intense. What exactly was said that pushed things over the edge? Let's break down the moment that turned this press conference into a full-blown brawl. It started with words, but it ended in chaos. As the press conference heated up, the tension between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. was already high. Both fighters were exchanging verbal jabs, but then, something unexpected happened. Davis, with his usual cocky demeanor, leaned into the microphone and said something that immediately set Lamont Roach Jr. off. His words weren't just trash talk, they were personal. Before Roach could even respond, his father and trainer, Lamont Roach Sr., stepped forward, visibly upset. He wasn't just defending his son. He was standing his ground against what he saw as blatant disrespect. But then Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, jumped in. The moment Ford spoke, everything spiraled out of control. Calvin Ford and Lamont Roach Sr. were now face-to-face, inches apart, shouting over each other. The room fell silent for a second, as if everyone was holding their breath. And then a shove. It's unclear who made the first move. But what happened next was pure chaos. Within seconds, both teams rushed in. Security tried to step between them, but the damage was already done. Yelling turned into pushing, and pushing turned into swinging. Gervonta Davis stood back, smirking, while Roach Jr. was being held back by his team, clearly furious. Calvin Ford, who had initially just been arguing, was now locked in a heated scuffle with members of Roach's camp. Tables were knocked over, chairs were pushed aside, and cameras were scrambling to catch every second of the madness. Reactions from both sides. Lamont Roach Jr. was visibly livid, shouting at Davis, demanding him to say it again. His father, trying to get past security, was still locked in a verbal war with Ford. Davis, always one to stir the pot, laughed it off, throwing his hands up as if to say, "This is what happens when you talk too much." Ford, despite being in the middle of it all, stood his ground, making it clear he wasn't backing down. Security had to physically separate the camps, with event organizers rushing to de-escalate the situation before it got even worse. Even after being pulled apart, the trash talk didn't stop. Roach Jr. could be heard shouting, "You don't want this. You don't want this fight," while Davis simply shook his head and smiled, knowing the damage had already been done. Within minutes, the incident was all over social media. Fans, fighters, and boxing analysts reacted instantly, with some calling it a publicity stunt, while others said the fight had officially become personal. But one thing was clear, this wasn't just about a match anymore. This was war. And now, the big question remains. How will this chaos affect the upcoming fight? Will it fuel the fire? Or will it be a major distraction? Let's break down the reactions from the boxing world, and what this means moving forward. The explosive confrontation between Gervonta Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, and Lamont Roach Jr. has sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Fans, analysts, and insiders are all buzzing about the incident, each offering their own take on what it means for the sport. Many boxing analysts have weighed in on the altercation, noting that while pre-fight tensions are common, such physical confrontations between camps are rare and concerning. Some suggest that this incident could be a strategic move to hype the fight, while others believe it reflects deeper personal animosities that could affect the fighters' performances. As of now, there have been no official statements from major boxing organizations or promoters regarding the incident. The silence has left many speculating about potential repercussions or sanctions, but without official word, the boxing community remains in suspense. The incident has ignited a firestorm on social media, with fans expressing a mix of excitement and concern. Some are thrilled by the added drama, believing it adds intensity to the upcoming bout. Others worry that such behavior tarnishes the sport's reputation and could lead to unnecessary violence outside the ring. The boxing community is divided on the confrontation's significance. Some see it as a mere publicity stunt, a way to generate buzz and increase pay-per-view sales. Others view it as a serious breach of sportsmanship that could have lasting implications for both fighters' careers. As the dust settles, one thing is clear. This incident has added a new layer of intrigue to the upcoming fight. Fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see how this drama unfolds and what it means for the future of boxing. The confrontation between Gervonta Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, and Lamont Roach Jr. has created a ripple effect that could impact not just their upcoming fight, but their careers moving forward. This brawl wasn't just about trash talk, it was personal. That means when Davis and Roach finally step into the ring, emotions could take over. Some fighters use anger as fuel, while others let it throw them off their game. If Roach fights with too much emotion, he could abandon his usual technical approach and make costly mistakes. On the other hand, Davis, known for staying composed under pressure, might look to capitalize on Roach's aggression and bait him into openings. But there's also the mental side of this battle. Did this altercation shake either fighter's confidence? Roach Jr. looked genuinely furious after the brawl, while Davis appeared to be enjoying the chaos. That could say a lot about where each fighter's head is leading up to the fight. With how big this incident has become, boxing commissions or promoters might step in. If any rules were violated, fines or penalties could follow, especially if the altercation involved physical contact outside of just words. At worst, security could be tightened for future face-offs, or even restrictions could be placed on the fighters' interactions leading up to the match. Another major concern is how the promotion handles this situation. Will they push this drama to sell more tickets? Or will they try to control the narrative to keep things professional? That decision could impact how both fighters handle themselves in future events. At the end of the day, fights aren't won at press conferences. They're won in the ring. But this confrontation has already set the tone for something much bigger than just another boxing match. Will this rivalry push both fighters to their peak? Or will emotions cause one of them to crack under pressure? The answer will come when the bell rings. Until then, the boxing world is left with one question: who will rise, and who will fall when it matters most? This confrontation between Gervonta Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, and Lamont Roach Jr. has turned a standard fight promotion into one of the most talked about events in boxing. What started as a press conference quickly turned into a heated, personal battle that could change the course of their careers. We've broken down every detail: the build-up, the altercation, the reactions from the boxing world, and what this means for the upcoming fight. But one question remains: will this clash outside the ring redefine the future of boxing rivalries? Does it add excitement, or does it cross the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more exclusive boxing updates, controversies, and fight predictions, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. This fight is far from over. Stay tuned for what happens next.